Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Grand Tournament pack opening. We're continuing with our series here. We've only got 20 packs left, but that's more than enough for us to make a few more videos. So last time we got a couple of epics and our traditional rares, no shiny ones though, and no legendaries. But let's see what our first card of the day is. Bash. 3 mana, deals 3 damage, and you gain 3 armor. Again, when I think about this, I would say that's a good solid card. I mean, the fact that you're dealing 3 damage, you can do it to any minion, you can do it to your own minions, even to the opponent actually when I think about it, but you're also gaining 3 armor, which is just as good. So I think Bash is a fairly solid card for warriors. Now our next card is an uncommon one. So 1 mana, Power Word Glory. Choose a minion. Whenever it attacks, restore 4 health to your hero. That is quite an annoying card, especially if played quite early on to a minion which is maybe your opponent has maybe got like a 3-2 or a 4-3 or 4-2 or something, as that completely neutralises it to an extent that your opponent will have to kill it off against something. So of course you can use it with your own minion, but I think it's better used when you actually use it on your opponents. I like that one. Now our next card is a rare. We always get at least 1 rare. It can be upgraded though, so that's at least our rare there. Oh, and we get another rare. Wonderful. Which means we jump straight over to our Living Roots. That's our next uncommon card. For 1 mana, you deal 2 damage. Perfect for getting rid of those pesky 3-2s. Or you can summon 2 +1 1/1 saplings. It's almost always going to be the deal 2 damage, but potentially combined with an Argent Defender, you can pop that, move Argent Defender down, and you've got 2 2/2 taunts. If you play it with there's a Druid card that either summons a 3/2 Panther or gives your minions +1/+1. Yeah, that might be useful for that, so that is a good solid card. I say probably it's always going to be the deal 2 damage, but for those times when maybe something's needed, 2 1/1 saplings are always there. So we found this rare first, so we can turn it over and we see the Ball of Spiders. The more I think about it, at 6 mana, you're only getting 3 1/1 web spinners. Yeah, they're not even be able to do anything that turn. I think that's a pretty bad card actually. Well, they can be killed and you can get it's a good way to kind of try and restock your hand with some better beasts. I think it's just better options at 6 mana really. So for our last rare here, we get a Druid Beast. Wow, so a 4 for a 5/4, it's solid enough. I mean, it's a direct counter to the Yetis. Better than the Wandering Plane Strider we've seen in the past. Inspire, give your hero +2 attack this turn. So that means anytime you use your Druid ability, you're gaining your armor, your Druid hero ability, and +1, so it'll be 3 attack and 1 armor. That's actually a pretty good card. The downside is the 4 health. Ideally you'd want it to be a 4/5 or maybe even a 3/6. is that would give you a bit more ability to actually use your hero, get the benefit of the Inspire, the hero ability there. So it can be okay if you combine it on that very same turn, and in effect that's an extra 2 damage you'll be causing to something. So let's grab our next pack and pop it in. Let's go to this one, and we see the Dragonhawk Rider. It's actually a nice card. I'd like to see what it looks like golden. We've seen Dragonhawk Rider before in the last episode. It's free for free. Inspire, again, Wind Fury this turn. So it's more of a gimmicky card, and it's unlikely you would be using it. But if you are, it does mean that you are able to attack twice a turn, but only if you use your hero ability. So, Seal of Champions. That looks quite solid. Now, normally you have ability, there's a paladin spell called Divine Might, I think it is, and that's +3 attack. This is +3 attack and Divine Shield. So, it's actually a good way to buff up a minion. You can take out another one, but it's still left on the board. So I think that's a good card. Certainly the token kind of paladins, it gives them a 4/1 with Divine Shield on turn 3. It's pretty solid. So that is our rare card, which we skip over. And we see our Frigid Snowbolt. We're starting to see a few of the familiar cards we've seen before, so 2/6 for 4, you're not going to use it. There's better, if you want the extra spell damage, there's probably better and cheaper cards out there. Now, at the top, let's see. Druid of the Saber. Again, 2 mana for 2/1 charge. Basically, it's a Bluegill Warrior or a 3/2 of Stealth. Both will be beasts, so they will impact the beast card, I think. The beast kind of synergy. So it's okay, I think. I can't really see. I mean, really, I'm not sure. I mean, if you want to use charge, you're better using the Bluegill Warrior. At least you can. It's there already. You don't need to worry about an extra card for it. It would replace the Bluegill Warrior, don't get me wrong, because it gives you wee options. Average, maybe 3 out of 5 card, would I say? Whether or not I would use it, I don't know. So let's open a rare. Saboteur. 3 mana for a 4/3. Again, relatively solid. You're going to be able to take out a minion slightly above it. Battle Cry. Your opponent's hero power costs 5 more next turn. So it's almost like a mini Loteb. Only affects the hero power. So it's maybe good for just disrupting something like a warlock that might be using on kind of their turn 4 or their turn 3. Might be wanting to use a hero ability to generate a new card. I could see play. I think I could definitely see play, especially against if Inspire takes off and a lot of people are using hero powers. I don't know what current meta, which is the pro decks that people use, the net decks and stuff. I don't know what that currently is like, but that could be useful, I suppose, if there is a lot of Inspire. So we'll pop another pack down. Now this is I think it's our 3rd pack, is it? I hope it's our 3rd pack, I can't remember. But either way, our first one is Bolster. Give your taunt minions +2/+2. Really solid card if you have taunt minions. Absolutely useless if you don't. So that is a rare card. Again, this is our lucky corner that we have. So move to the top just about said directions wrong again. And it's Bash. So we've got 2 warrior cards here, both fairly solid. We've seen Bash a couple of times now, so you know it's a good solid card. And unfortunately we've seen that Frigid Snowbolt more than a few times now. You're not going to use it. I mean, don't get me wrong, 4 mana for 2/6 body is okay, it's going to trade off a couple of times against 3/2s, but there's better options at 4. So this is another uncommon card. So let's turn it over. We've actually been quite quick on this pack, unfortunately. I'll have to slow down a little bit. It's you've seen this card as well before. I think that's maybe one of the reasons we're starting to see a lot of the same cards now as we progress through our decks, so our packs rather. But yeah, 7 for 5/9. That would be a good solid body if it had a body, a battle cry, if it actually had an ability for it. I can't really see it ever being used though. At 7 mana, there's so many other good cards that might not be as tough a body, but you know, things like Emperor Torreson, I'm not sure if he's 7 or 6, he's a 5/5, but you know, you're dropping a mana cost of cards after him. So let's move down now to the bottom left corner and we'll pop this one open. So let's have a look. Now this is a new card. It's a Warlock one. 4 mana, Fist of Jaraxxus. When you play or discard this, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. It's obviously meant to be there to be acting as a filler for discarding. The downside is it's 4 mana for 4 damage to a random minion. I'd really rather trust I mean, it could be an opponent, it's a random enemy. I'd rather trust 4 mana being used on something I know, and even as a discard, I'm accommodating discards. I really can't see Fist of Jaraxxus being very, very useful, being honest. If it was 2 mana, then yeah, it would be useful even as a standard spell. But nah. So discarding does get used a lot by warlocks, but you know, you might end up not discarding that one. So we're now on pack number 4. So we always start pack number 4 unless we're going in reverse with our lucky bottom left corner. So let's hope this will be a golden one. It's not. In fact, it's an Ice Rager. You know, the only thing it's useful for is making sure that you can, you know, it doesn't get taken out by hero ability, let's put it that way. Otherwise I probably wouldn't be seeing that getting played at all. Now, our next card here is our rare card. So we can skip over that one and pop on the next one. Now that's the Clockwork Knight. I've seen one of them before. Gives you a friendly mech, +1/+1, 5 for 5/5, solid enough. It's a good card, certainly very, very good in a mech based deck. Now, let's see, our next card is the Flame Juggler. Again, we've seen this one before. 2 mana for a 2/3. Battle Cry, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. I probably wouldn't be using it. I mean, it could hit the enemy, it could hit the hero, in which case it's pretty much wasted. Depending on what your hero is, you're probably better with something else at that 2 mana mark, you can get like a free 2 or a 2 free that can heal, for example. So our second to last card is a Wrath card. Again, I've seen this one before. Whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your hero. To me, it's a fairly solid card. There is no guarantee that he'll even die. You might be able to keep him alive for a period of time, avoid, so he could be pretty decent until your enemy takes him out. Now, I think he's susceptible to overkills, so if you take him out by, say, using an ogre, which is 6 damage, you'd actually take 6 as well, I think. So you have to be careful about that. Definitely though, I think he'd be getting removed fairly early on. And it's a good card on your curve. I mean, you play turn 1 with your Flame Imp, that's a free 2. Turn 2, it's a 4 free. All of a sudden you've got 7 damage on your board. So I think it's a good solid card actually, your Wrath card. Also, if you can, you might even be able to silence it. So we have our rare card. Let's have a look. So it's a mage, polymorph, boar. Transform a minion into a 4/2 boar with charge. Now that can be used by yourself. So for example, you play a flame juggler, for whatever reason you want to play a flame juggler. It becomes on your next turn, you can polymorph it, and all of a sudden it becomes a 4/2. Also useful to maybe polymorph an opponent's bigger minion, so only has 2 health. Obviously you do it in your turn, so with charge wouldn't make a difference. So it's a fairly decent pack, that one. And now we're opening up the last one of the day. Now that is an epic card. So we'll always leave our epics for last unless there's a legendary. But the next card isn't one, so we'll turn it over. But we do get, wow, that's a good solid card. We've seen this one before. We've also got the golden version. So the 3 for 2/1, charge and divine shield, really solid, really good. And it's golden. So I like that card. I actually like the snow falling. You can see his crown of flames, I think it is, flickering away there. And the horse armour, the banding on the armour. Banding? I can't remember. Kind of glowing, or at least something's reflecting off it. That's a nice golden card there. Wow, so that's a rare. So it's an epic, a golden, a rare, another rare, and an uncommon. But that's a good uncommon. We'll have seen this one before though, but that's a good pack so far anyway. So Undercity Valiant, 1 damage for 3/2. I think that's solid. So we've got our 2 rare cards here. Let's pop open the top one. Effigy. We've seen that before. We've actually got a couple of these already, I think. That's a really, really good secret. It's a really, really good one. So definitely worth doing. It kind of means that on your opponent's turn, he has to be careful about which one he kills first, as you don't want to kill a big minion and then all of a sudden find it's resummoned. And the next rare. Wow, it's a golden rare. It's a Master Jouster. Now that's a 5/6 for 6. Again, it's weaker than the Boulderfist Ogre, which is, I always use a Boulderfist Ogre and the Yeti as a benchmark, as those are both solid cards. A 4/5 for 4 mana and a 6/7 for 6 mana. So again, 5/6 is below cost, below power. However, if, and that's a big if, you reveal a minion which is more expensive, you get Taunt and Divine Shield. So it either goes from being underpowered to being overpowered. The picture, I have to admit, I'm not keen about that one. It's very comic based, very comic looking, and it actually looks like he's on a boat which is bobbing up and down, being honest. But still, it's golden. So this has been a wonderful pack so far. Now we have our epic card. Is it going to follow our golden pack today? Or is it going to be something different entirely? What do you think it is? I'm going to say it's going to be a neutral card, and it's not going to be golden. So it's a Dreadsteed. Death Rattle, summon a Dreadsteed. So it's an unkillable minion, pretty much, but it's only a 1/1 for 4. The problem is, it's really not going to do anything. Once you get to turn 4, and then by the time you get to do anything with it, it's going to be turn 5. You're just going to be running it off doing 1 damage a turn to something. I can't see that being used at all. I would say it's a fairly weak card. 3 mana might have been better. I think that might have been a better option for it. 2 would have been overpowered. 3 mana probably would have been better. You know, it's annoying to an extent that your opponent's always going to have to be aware that it could get buffed up. You can't just remove it and then forget about it. I'd like to see what it's like golden, mind you. I think that could be quite a stunning card. But I'm not going to complain, because it's still a nice epic that we've not had before. So what a wonderful way to end this series of cards. Now, there is still more to come, of course, but this episode, you know, 2 rares, 2 golds, and an epic. Certainly, I'm not going to complain with that one. Thanks so much everybody for watching though. Please take care, have a great day now, and I'll see you next time for more pack openings.